Let's get right into it. Number 8. De-escalation and threat assessment. Imagine you're walking home in 2036. Your bag is full of expensive lab-grown meat and the last fresh vegetables from the vertical farm. Suddenly, you notice someone following you. They look desperate. In 2026, you might just run or call the police. But in 2036, with resources stretched thin and emergency services overwhelmed, you need different skills. The first rule of de-escalation is your ego is not worth dying for. Those vegetables might cost a week's salary, but they're not worth your life. Start by creating distance, not by running, which can trigger a chase response. Instead, move diagonally away while keeping them in your peripheral vision. Your voice is your most powerful weapon. Keep it calm, low, and steady. High-pitched voices signal fear, and fear is like blood in the water. Use what negotiators call a BIF approach. Be brief, informative, friendly, and firm. Hey, I see you. I've got some food here. We can maybe split it, but I need to get home to feed my family. This acknowledges them, offers a potential solution, and sets a boundary. But sometimes words aren't enough. You need to read their body language. Watch their hands, not their face. The face can lie, but the hands tell the truth. If their hands are concealed, twitching, or keep moving towards their waistband, words probably won't save you. If you must surrender items, don't hand them over. Place them on the ground and back away. This creates space and prevents them from grabbing you. The scariest part is this isn't just about random encounters. When resources get scarce, people get desperate. The goal isn't to win. The goal is to survive. Sometimes that means swallowing your pride and losing some groceries. Better to go hungry for a day than to not go home at all. Number 7. Guerrilla Repair. Imagine it's 2036 and your smart fridge just died. The supply chain is having another moment, and the local repair shop is backed up until next year. You'll need to fix high-tech stuff with low-tech solutions. Think of it like performing surgery, but instead of a fully equipped operating room, you've got a butter knife and some duct tape. First rule of Guerrilla Repair. Everything is a donor. That old TV remote is not trash. It's an organ donor for future repairs. Those circuit boards from your kids' broken toys are a box of spare parts. Conductive glue is your new best friend. It's like super glue, but for electronics. Broken circuit board trace? Draw a new one with conductive glue. Loose connection? A dab will do. Learning to cannibalize components will be essential. That means stealing parts from one device to fix another. Your dead laptop screen might be what you need to fix your smart thermostat. People in places with limited access to new electronics are already doing this. There are entire markets in some countries dedicated to cannibalized electronics parts. You'll also need the art of the temporary fix. Sometimes you just need something to work right now. Aluminum foil works as a temporary conductor. Pencil graphite can fix broken remote control contacts. It's like putting a bandage on a bullet wound. Not pretty, but it might work long enough. Many modern electronics are designed to fail. With some guerrilla repair knowledge, you can bypass these electronic time bombs. Start practicing now. Take apart that broken toaster. See what's inside your dead phone. Because in 10 years, a person who can fix a circuit board with dental floss and determination will be worth their weight in working electronics. Number 6. Seed saving and heirloom farming. Think about your favorite tomato. Now imagine going to the store one day and finding out all tomatoes are gone. Not just out of stock, but gone. This isn't a doomsday movie plot. Right now, a handful of companies control most of our seeds. And these aren't your grandma's garden variety seeds. They're hybrids, engineered to produce once and then become sterile. It's like having a printer that only works with one brand of ink, except it's your food supply that's locked down. These hybrid plants are like spoiled rich kids. They need perfect conditions and specific fertilizers. One supply chain hiccup, and your food source is gone. The solution is older than civilization itself. Seed saving. You let your healthiest plants, the survivors, go to seed. You harvest their seeds, clean them, and store them. These seeds adapt to your local conditions. If a plant survives a drought in your garden, its seeds will produce more drought-tolerant plants. It's natural selection on fast forward. Unlike hybrid seeds, these heirloom seeds will produce the same type of plant, generation after generation. Storage is crucial. You can't just toss them in a drawer. They need to be kept dry and cool. A good rule of thumb is if you're comfortable, it's too warm for your seeds. Some seeds can stay viable for decades if stored properly. The tomato seeds you save today could feed your grandkids. Don't wait until everyone else figures this out. Start learning now while you can afford to make mistakes. Start small. Learn to save seeds from one vegetable you already grow. Master that, then move on. Build your seed bank like an emergency fund, one deposit at a time, because in 10 years, knowing how to save seeds won't be a hobby. It will be the difference between eating and staring at empty shelves. Number 5. Reinforcing structures. Think about your home. How many ways can someone get in? I'm not just talking about doors and windows. I'm talking about the flimsy garage door, basement vents, or that decorative glass panel next to your front door that would shatter if someone sneezed too hard. When things go south, there's no such thing as a safe neighborhood. You need to reinforce your home without making it look like a prison, because nothing says, "I've got good stuff inside," like obvious fortifications. Start with the door. Replace the tiny screws in your door hinges and strike plates with 3.5-inch deck screws that anchor into the wall stud. This simple fix can make a door exponentially harder to kick in. For windows, get polycarbonate sheets. Cut them to fit inside your window frames. When things get dicey, you can pop them in place for near unbreakable protection. When it's safe, you store them away. Your garage door is probably the weakest point. You can reinforce it with a simple bracket system that lets you quickly install horizontal cross braces made of 2x4s. When not in use, they look like regular garage storage. Most people focus on entry points and forget the walls. Many modern homes have walls you could punch through. That's where sandbags come in. But instead of ugly military ones, you can make decorative floor cushions or ottomans filled with sand, stack them against vulnerable walls during emergencies, and use them as seating during good times. The key is to make all these reinforcements removable and disguisable. The last thing you want is to advertise you're prepared. That just makes you a target. Look at what happened in any city that's had major civil unrest. The homes that survived weren't the prettiest. They were the ones that looked normal but were secretly reinforced. Number 4. Urban foraging. You're walking down a cracked sidewalk in 2034, your stomach is growling, and the last grocery store in town has closed for good. That patch of weeds growing through the concrete might just be your next meal. Those dandelions your dad used to wage chemical warfare against are about to become the kale of the apocalypse. Every part of a dandelion is edible. The leaves pack more vitamin A than spinach and more vitamin C than tomatoes, and these things are literally impossible to kill. But dandelions aren't the only free food hiding in plain sight. See that patch of purslane growing between the parking blocks? That's not just a weed, it's nature's multivitamin. It has more omega-3 fatty acids than some types of fish. Fancy restaurants charge $30 a plate for this, calling it gourmet microgreens. Meanwhile, it's probably growing wild in your driveway. Cities are often better for foraging than forests. The waste heat from buildings creates urban heat islands, where plants grow faster and for longer seasons. But before you turn your local park into a salad bar, there are rules. First, avoid anything growing right next to busy roads, unless you want your dinner seasoned with lead and exhaust fumes. Second, learn to identify plants with 100% certainty. That wild carrot might actually be poison hemlock, and that's a mistake you only make once. Railroad tracks and abandoned lots are often great spots for foraging. The gravel beds provide perfect drainage, and the lack of maintenance allows edible weeds to thrive. Just watch out for industrial contaminants. Your ancestors did this for millennia. Now, it's becoming a necessary skill again. And unlike your local grocery store, these plants don't care about inflation or supply chains. Number 3. Fermentation for preservation. The power goes out. Your fridge is now just an oversized metal cabinet. All that food you stockpiled is an all-you-can-eat buffet for bacteria, and you're not invited. What do? You turn to a technique that's thousands of years old: fermentation. Fermentation is like giving your food superpowers by recruiting an army of good bacteria to fight off the bad. The good guys, mostly from the Lactobacillus family, are like bouncers at a club. They eat sugars in the food and produce lactic acid, which makes the environment so hostile that the bad, spoilage-causing bacteria can't survive. Humans have been doing this for centuries. Your ancestors didn't have refrigerators, but they had sauerkraut, kimchi, and pickles that could last for months. These aren't just hipster food trends, they're ancient survival foods. And you don't need special equipment. All you need is a clean jar, non-iodized salt, and whatever vegetables you want to preserve. Shred some cabbage, massage it with salt until it releases its own brine, pack it into a jar, and keep it submerged. That's it. You've just made sauerkraut. Yes, your first batch will probably smell like something died in your kitchen. That's the smell of transformation, the smell of food becoming immortal. In a few weeks, you'll have a nutrient-dense, vitamin-rich food that requires no refrigeration. When the grid goes down for good, you'll be glad you learned how to make food that can outlast civilization. Just remember, if it turns black or grows fur, that's not the kind of immortality we're going for. Number 2. Solar panel repair. It's 2034. Your neighborhood hasn't had grid power for weeks. The only thing keeping your food from spoiling is your rooftop solar setup. Then, a hailstorm hits, and you hear that dreaded crack from above. Your panels are damaged, and there's no technician coming to save you. Solar panels are like giant potato chips. A single crack can compromise the whole thing, unless you know how to fix it. Most damage isn't as bad as it looks. Small cracks in the glass can be sealed with a special transparent epoxy designed for solar panels. This keeps moisture out, which is the real killer. The real trick is dealing with the cells themselves. Each panel is made of dozens of tiny silicon power generators, usually connected in series like old Christmas lights. If one cell or connection gets badly damaged, it can drag down the whole panel's performance. Using a multimeter, you can identify the dead sections. With a steady hand and some conductive tape or a soldering iron, you can bypass the damaged cells, restoring most of the panel's output. It's like performing surgery on your power supply. You'll also need to know when a panel is just an expensive roof decoration. If you see large, dark burn marks or the panel looks like it's been used as a trampoline, it's probably time to scavenge for replacements. Start collecting supplies now. Solar epoxy, multimeters, and conductive tape will be worth their weight in gold when everyone else is trying to fix their panels with duct tape and prayers. The most important tool is knowledge. Learn how to use a multimeter now while YouTube tutorials still exist. In 10 years, the person who knows how to keep their solar panels running won't just have power. They'll have a currency more valuable than gold. Number 1. Forging social alliances. In 10 years, the most important survival skill will have nothing to do with fire, food, or first aid. It will be knowing who to trust. Who you know and who has your back will be the difference between thriving and barely surviving. When things get rough, the lone wolf doesn't make it. That's a Hollywood myth. In every real-world disaster, the people who fare best are the ones with strong connections to their neighbors, community, and family. Choosing allies is like dating, except a bad choice might get you robbed instead of ghosted. First, watch how people treat others when they think no one important is looking. The person who is nice to their boss but cruel to a waiter is not on the team. Second, look for people with complementary skills. If you're great at growing food but can't fix a leaky pipe, befriend the plumber down the street. It's about building a practical team where everyone contributes. You must also be valuable to others. Learn practical skills. Take a first aid course. Learn to repair things. Start a garden. When things get tough, people protect those who are useful to the group. You don't need to be popular. You need to be indispensable. Start building your network now. Get to know your neighbors. Most importantly, watch how people handle small crises. The neighbor who shared their generator during the last power outage? That's your ally. The one who hoarded all the toilet paper? Maybe not. You don't need hundreds of allies. You need a small group of reliable people. Think about it. How many people in your phone could you call at 3 a.m. in a real emergency? Those are the people that matter. These are your survival alliance auditions, and they're happening every day. Because when the real crisis hits, you won't have time to figure out who to trust. By then, it'll be too late. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.